The Flower Ornament Scripture, Book 33, Part 2. Though the Buddhas be in the inner palace, seen by all the people, yet they are performing Buddha work in all worlds. By means of great knowledge and great energy, they manifest the various spiritual powers of Buddhas, unhindered, inexhaustible. They always continue three kinds of skillful, expedient action. That is, their physical activity is ultimately pure. Their verbal activity is always carried out in accord with knowledge, and their mental activity is exceedingly profound and has no blockage or inhibition. By these means they benefit living beings. This is the third great Buddha work. All Buddhas show analytic examination and disenchantment while living in a palace of all kinds of adornments, thereupon giving it up and leaving home, wishing to let sentient beings realize that things of the world are all illusions, impermanent and perishable, and become deeply disillusioned, avoid creating attachments, forever cut off the affliction of worldly craving, cultivate purifying practices, and benefit living beings. When the Buddhas leave home, they give up conventional manners, abide in non-contention, and fulfill the immeasurable virtues of their fundamental vow. By the light of great knowledge, they destroy the darkness of delusion of the world and become unexcelled fields of blessings for all beings. They always extol the virtues of Buddhas for the benefit of sentient beings, causing them to plant roots of goodness with the Buddhas. They see truth with the eye of wisdom. They also extol renunciation for the benefit of sentient beings, its purity and blamelessness. They are eternally emancipated and are forever lofty paragons of wisdom for the world. This is the fourth great Buddha work. All Buddhas have omniscience and already know and see infinite realities. Attaining perfect true enlightenment under the tree of enlightenment, vanquishing all demons, their majesty supreme, their bodies fill all worlds. Their deeds of spiritual power are boundless and inexhaustible. They attain mastery of all meanings in the sphere of omniscience. They have cultivated virtues to consummation. Their seats of enlightenment are fully adorned and pervade all worlds in the 10 directions. The Buddhas sit on them and turn the wheel of the sublime teaching, explaining all the undertakings of enlightening beings, revealing the infinite realms of the Buddhas, causing the enlightening beings to awaken to and enter into them. They carry out all kinds of pure practices and are able to direct and guide all living beings, cause them to plant roots of goodness, be born in the ground of equality of the enlightened, continue in the boundless good practices of enlightening beings, and develop all the most excellent qualities. The Buddhas know perfectly all worlds, all beings, all Buddha lands, all phenomena, all enlightening beings, all teachings, all pasts, present, and futures, all disciplines, all mystic transformations, and the inclinations of all sentient beings' minds, and based on this knowledge perform Buddha work. This is the fifth great Buddha work. All Buddhas turn the irreversible wheel of the teaching to cause the enlightening beings not to backslide. They turn the immeasurable wheel of the teaching to cause all worldlings to know. They turn the wheel of teaching, awakening all, because they can fearlessly roar the lion's roar. They turn the wheel of teaching, which is a treasury of knowledge of all truths, to open the door of the treasury of truth and remove the obstacle of obscurity. They turn the unobstructed wheel of the teaching, being equal to space. They turn the wheel of teaching of non-attachment, because they see that all things are neither existent nor non-existent. They turn the world-illuminating wheel of teaching to cause all sentient beings to purify their vision of reality. They turn the wheel of teaching, revealing all knowledge, pervading all things in all times. They turn the wheel of teaching, which is the same one of all Buddhas, because all Buddha teachings are not mutually opposed or contradictory. All Buddhas, by means of measureless, countless, hundreds of thousands of millions of billions of such wheels of teaching, perform Buddha work inconceivably, according to the differences in mental patterns of sentient beings. This is the sixth great Buddha work. All Buddhas enter into all capital cities and perform Buddha work for the beings. That is, they enter human capitals, celestial capitals, capitals of water spirits, monsters, cherubim, titans, birds, hobgoblins, serpents, goblins, demons, and so on. When they enter the gates of the city, the earth trembles, light shines everywhere, the blind gain vision, the deaf are able to hear, the insane regain their sanity, the naked are clothed, the troubled and suffering all gain peace and happiness, all musical instruments spontaneously play, all adornments, used or not, emit marvelous sounds that delight all hearers. The Buddha's physical forms are pure and clean, fully endowed with the marks and refinements of greatness, so that none ever tire of seeing them. They are able to do Buddha work for the benefit of sentient beings, whether looking, examining, moving, stretching, walking or standing still, sitting or reclining, silent or speaking, whether manifesting occult powers, or explaining principles, or giving instructions. In all these they are performing Buddha work for the benefit of sentient beings. All Buddhas in all the countless worlds, in the midst of the oceans of mental inclinations of all kinds of sentient beings, urge them to remembrance the Buddhas, always diligently considering and planting roots of goodness, cultivating the practices of enlightening beings, lauding the subtlety and supremacy of the Buddha's appearance, which is hard for any living being to get to meet. If beings see Buddhas and are inspired with faith, then they produce all the immeasurable good qualities and amass the virtues of Buddhas, all pure. Thus, having extolled the virtues of Buddhas, they multiply their bodies to go to all worlds in the 10 directions, to let the sentient beings behold them, meditate on them, and contemplate them, attend and serve them, plant roots of goodness, gain the good graces of the Buddhas, and increase the family of Buddhas, all being certain to attain Buddhahood. By these actions they perform Buddha work, sometimes manifesting physical bodies for sentient beings, sometimes making sublime utterances, sometimes just smiling, causing them to believe, honor, praise, and behave courteously. All Buddhas, by means of innumerable, untold, inconceivable such Buddha works of all kinds, in all worlds, according to the inclinations of sentient beings' minds, teach them expediently, by the power of their original vows, the power of great love and compassion, and the power of omniscience, causing them all to be civilized. This is the seventh great Buddha work. All Buddhas may do Buddha work while dwelling in forest retreats, or in quiet places, or in desolate places, or in Buddha's dwelling places, or they may do Buddha work while in trance, or while alone in a grove, or while concealing themselves from view, or while abiding in knowledge of the ultimate profundity, or while dwelling in the incomparable realm of the Buddhas, or they may do Buddha work while carrying on various imperceptible physical actions, adapting to sentient beings' mentalities, predilections, and understandings to teach them as is expedient, without cease. Or they may do Buddha work seeking omniscience in the form of celestial beings, Or they may do Buddha work seeking omniscience in the form of water spirits, goblins, cherubim, titans, birds, serpents, humans, subhumans, and so on. They may also do Buddha work by seeking omniscience in the form of listeners, solitary illuminates, or enlightening beings. Sometimes they preach, sometimes they are silent in doing Buddha work. Sometimes they do Buddha work saying there is one Buddha, sometimes saying there are many Buddhas. Sometimes they do Buddha work saying all practices and all vows of enlightening beings are one practice and vow. Sometimes they do Buddha work saying one practice and one vow of enlightening beings are infinite practices and vows. Sometimes they do Buddha work saying the realm of Buddhahood is the world. Sometimes they do Buddha work saying the world is the realm of Buddhahood. Sometimes they do Buddha work saying the realm of Buddhahood is not the world. Sometimes they remain for a day, or a night, or a fortnight, or a month, or a year, up to untold eons, to do Buddha work for the benefit of sentient beings. This is the 8th great Buddha work. All Buddhas are minds that produce pure roots of goodness, causing sentient beings to engender pure faith and resolution in the Buddha teachings, so their faculties are tamed, and they forever detach from the world. They cause enlightening beings to be full of knowledge, wisdom, and clarity in regard to the way of enlightenment, and not depend on another for understanding. Sometimes they do Buddha work manifesting nirvana. Sometimes they do Buddha work showing the evanescence of all in the world. Sometimes they do Buddha work explaining the Buddha bodies. Sometimes they do Buddha work explaining the accomplishment of all that is to be done. Sometimes they do Buddha work explaining the flawless fulfillment of virtuous qualities. Sometimes they do Buddha work explaining the extirpation of the root of all existences. Sometimes they do Buddha work causing sentient beings to turn away from the world to follow the Buddha mind. Sometimes they do Buddha work explaining the inevitable ending of life. Sometimes they do Buddha work explaining that there is nothing enjoyable in the world. Sometimes they do Buddha work preaching the eternal service of Buddhas. Sometimes they do Buddha work explaining the Buddha's turning of the wheel of pure teaching, causing the hearers to become very joyful. Sometimes they do Buddha work expounding the sphere of Buddhahood, inspiring people to cultivate spiritual practices. Sometimes they do Buddha work expounding concentration on remembrance of Buddha, inspiring people to always delight in visions of Buddha. Sometimes they do Buddha work expounding the purification of the senses, diligent search for the Buddha way with unflagging spirit. Sometimes they do Buddha work visiting all Buddha lands and observing the various causes and conditions of their environments. Sometimes they do Buddha work uniting all bodies of living beings into a Buddha body, causing all lazy and self-indulgent sentient beings to abide by the pure precepts of the enlightened. This is the 9th great Buddha work. When Buddhas enter extinction, countless sentient beings mourn and weep. Looking at each other in great grief and distress, they say, "The Buddha had great sympathy and compassion, mercifully aiding all worldly beings, a savior and a refuge for all living creatures. The emergence of a Buddha is difficult to encounter, an unexcelled field of blessings, and now the Buddha has passed away forever." Thus they use this to cause sentient beings to mourn and miss the Buddha, thereby doing Buddha work. Also, in order to transform and liberate all celestials, humans, spirits, goblins, titans, cherubim, and so on, according to their desires, they pulverize their own bodies to make countless relics, to cause sentient beings to develop faith, honor, respect, and joyfully reverence them, and cultivate virtues to complete fulfillment. They also build monuments, variously adorned, in the abodes of all kinds of creatures for religious services. Their teeth, nails, and hair are all used to make monuments, to cause those who see them to remember the Buddha, the teaching, and the community, to believe with unswerving faith, sincerely respect and honor them, and make offerings to them wherever they are, and cultivate virtues, so that by this merit they may be born in heaven or among humans, of noble and prosperous families with ample property and pure retinues, not enter into evil ways, always get to see Buddhas, fulfill pure ways, quickly attain emancipation from the three realms of existence, each attain the fruit of their own vehicle according to their aspiration, recognize and requite their debt to Buddhas, and forever be a reliance for the world. Though the Buddhas be extinct, they are still inconceivable, pure fields of blessings for living beings, with inexhaustible virtues, supreme fields of blessings, causing sentient beings roots of goodness to be complete, and their virtue to be fully developed. This is the 10th great Buddha work. These Buddha works are immeasurably great, inconceivable. No beings of the world, celestials or humans, and none of the listeners or individual illuminates of past, future, or present can know them, unless they are empowered by Buddha. Buddhas have 10 kinds of mastery of non-dual action. What are they? All Buddhas can speak words of prediction of enlightenment, definitively, without duality. All Buddhas can satisfy sentient beings according to their wishes, definitely, without duality. All Buddhas can manifestly be awake to all truths and expound their meanings, definitively, without duality. All Buddhas have all the wisdom and knowledge of the Buddhas of past, future, and present, definitive, without duality. All Buddhas know that all instants, past, future, and present, are one instant, definitely, without duality. All Buddhas know that all past, future, and present Buddha lands inhere in one Buddha land, definitely, without duality. All Buddhas know the words of all Buddhas of all times are the words of one Buddha, definitely, without duality. All Buddhas know that all Buddhas of all times and all the beings they teach are essentially equal, definitely, without duality. All Buddhas know that worldly phenomena and Buddhist principles are essentially not different, definitely, without duality. All Buddhas know that the roots of goodness of all Buddhas of all times are the same one root of goodness, definitely, without duality. These are the 10. Buddhas have 10 kinds of abode, abiding therein in all things. What are they? All Buddhas abide in awareness of all realms of reality. All Buddhas abide in compassionate speech. All Buddhas abide in the fundamental great vow. All Buddhas abide in persistence in civilizing sentient beings. All Buddhas abide in the principle of absence of selfhood. All Buddhas abide in impartial salvation. All Buddhas abide in recollection of truth. All Buddhas abide in the unobstructed mind. All Buddhas abide in the constantly rightly concentrated mind. All Buddhas abide in equal comprehension of all things, without violating the character of ultimate reality. All Buddhas have 10 exhaustive knowledges. What are they? They know all things of the past exhaustively. They know all things of the future exhaustively. They know all things of the present exhaustively. They know all principles of language exhaustively. They know all sentient beings' minds exhaustively. They know all the various ranks, high, middling, and low, of the roots of goodness of enlightening beings. They know all Buddha's complete knowledge and virtues do not increase or decrease. They know all phenomena come from interdependent origination. They know all world systems exhaustively. They know all the different phenomena in all worlds, interrelated in Indra's net. Buddhas have 10 kinds of might with enormous power, supreme power, measureless power, grandiose, awesome power, power difficult to acquire, undiminishing power, stable power, indestructible power, power inconceivable to any worldlings, power that all living beings cannot shake. What are they? All Buddhas have indestructible bodies and life that cannot be cut off. No worldly poisons can affect them. The floods, fires, and gales of all worlds cannot harm the Buddha's body. Even if all demons, gods, sprites, goblins, angels, titans, and sundry other creatures were to rain thunderbolts as big as mountains with all their strength, hurling them down at all once throughout the universe, they could not cause the Buddha's mind to be startled or frightened, and could not even move a single hair of the Buddha's. Walking, standing still, sitting or reclining, the Buddhas never change. That rain cannot fall where the Buddhas are, unless they let it, and even if they do not prevent it and let it rain, it does not harm them. If there are any beings sustained by the Buddhas, or in the service of the Buddhas, that rain of thunderbolts cannot even harm them, much less the Buddhas. This is the Buddha's first mighty quality. All Buddhas put the mountains, oceans, forests, and buildings in all worlds, in all universes, into a single paw for all future ages. Yet the sentient beings are not aware, do not know, unless they are empowered by the Buddha. Then the Buddhas, holding all those worlds in a paw throughout the ages to come, whether walking, standing still, sitting or reclining, do not conceive a single thought of fatigue. Just as space holds all the worlds in the cosmos without fatigue, so do all Buddhas hold all worlds in a single paw. This is Buddha's second mighty quality. All Buddhas can take as many steps as atoms in untold worlds in a single moment, passing as many lands as atoms in untold Buddha lands with each step, and travel thus for as many eons as atoms in all worlds. If there were a great adamantine mountain equal in measure to all those Buddha lands, the Buddhas could place as many such mountains as atoms in untold Buddha lands in a single paw. The paws on a Buddha's body being equal in number to all beings in the cosmos, they place the same number of great adamantine mountains in each paw, and holding all those mountains, walk in the 10 directions, entering all worlds in space, from the past throughout the future, through all ages without resting. Yet the Buddha's bodies are not injured, and they do not get tired. Their minds are always in concentration, without distraction. This is the Buddha's third mighty quality. Buddhas, after a meal, sit in the lotus posture through the untold eons of past and future, and enter the inconceivable bliss experienced by Buddhas. Their bodies remain stable, still and unmoving, yet they do not abandon the work of teaching sentient beings. Suppose someone measured each world throughout space one after another with a hair tip. The Buddhas are able to sit cross-legged forever on a point the size of the hair tip, and likewise on all points. Suppose the size and weight of each being in all worlds in the 10 directions were equal to those of worlds as numerous as atoms in untold Buddha lands. The Buddhas could put all those beings on a fingertip forever, and could do the same with all their fingertips, and enter each world in all of space, carrying all those beings, exhausting the whole cosmos, yet the Buddhas would never be weary in body or mind. This is Buddha's fourth mighty quality. Buddhas can cause to appear on one body as many heads as atoms in untold Buddhalands, manifesting as many tongues in each head as atoms in untold Buddhalands, each tongue producing as many different voices as atoms in untold Buddhalands, which all beings in the cosmos hear, each voice delivering as many troves of discourses as atoms in untold Buddhalands, each trove of discourses expounding as many principles as atoms in untold Buddhalands, each principle having as many terms, statements, and meanings as atoms in untold Buddhalands. They preach this way for as many eons as atoms in untold Buddhalands, and when they finish these eons, they again preach for as many eons as atoms in untold Buddhalands, going on like this successively until they exhaust eons as numerous as atoms in all worlds, as numerous as the thoughts of all living beings. The eons of the future may be exhausted, but the cycles of teaching operated by the emanated bodies of Buddhas have no end. This means the cycle of teaching expounded by knowledge, the cycle of teaching cutting off doubts, the cycle of teaching illumining all things, the cycle of teaching opening the treasury of non-obstruction, the cycle of teaching causing sentient beings to be joyful and docile, the cycle of teaching revealing all the practices of enlightening beings, the cycle of teaching of the high-rising, perfectly round sun of knowledge, the cycle of teaching of the bright lamp of wisdom illumining all the world, the cycle of teaching of various adornments of intellectual powers and confidence, just as one Buddha body, by spiritual power, operates different cycles of teaching such as these, to which no comparison in the world may be drawn. In the same way, throughout space, in every single point, there are as many worlds as atoms in untold Buddhalands, and in each world the Buddhas manifest in each mental instant as many emanation bodies as atoms in untold Buddhalands, each emanation body also producing voices and teachings like these, each filling all realms, so all beings therein can understand. Yet the voice of the Buddhas does not change or die out. It is inexhaustible. This is the fifth mighty quality of Buddhas. All Buddhas adorn their chests with the sign of virtue, indestructible as adamant, and sit at the foot of a tree of enlightenment. Hordes of demons, boundless in number, with various forms so terrifying that all sentient beings who see them become crazed with fear or even drop dead. Such hordes of demons fill the sky. But when the Buddhas see them, they are not frightened. They do not pale. Not even one hair stands on end. They are not moved or disturbed. They do not think of anything. Aloof from emotions, they are tranquil and clear. Abiding in the abode of Buddhas, imbued with the power of love and compassion, their senses under control, their hearts without fear, impossible for the hordes of demons to upset. In fact, it is they who can subdue the demons, cause them to change their minds, and take refuge in the Buddhas, after which the Buddhas teach them by means of correct diagnosis, prescription, and mystic influence, so that all now develop the aspiration for unexcelled, complete, perfect enlightenment, never to regress. This is the sixth mighty quality of Buddhas. All Buddhas have unobstructed voices that pervade all worlds in the 10 directions, and all sentient beings who hear them spontaneously become docile. The sounds of the voices of the Buddhas cannot be blocked by any mountains, any habitations of any creatures, or any sounds of any world, no matter how loud. According to the ways in which they need to be influenced, all sentient beings hear articulated statements and doctrines, and all attain understanding. This is the seventh mighty quality of Buddhas. All Buddhas' minds are unobstructed, eternally pure. All Buddhas of past, future, and present are of the same one essence, unpolluted, unblinkered, without egoism or possessiveness, either internally or externally. They realize objects are void. They do not conceive arbitrary ideas, do not depend on anything, do not fabricate anything, do not dwell on appearances, forever end false imaginings, give up all thoughts clinging to objects, are pure in their fundamental nature, are forever free from conflict while in the midst of all things, abiding in ultimate reality, free from desire, thoroughly pure, entering the cosmos of reality. Their teaching is inexhaustible, beyond all illusory ideas of assessment and wrong assessment, totally beyond all talk of the compounded and the uncompounded. Having comprehended untold, boundless realms of objects, with unimpeded, inexhaustible knowledge and method, they accomplish the 10 powers, and their embellishments of all virtues are thoroughly pure. They expound innumerable various principles, all without contradicting the character of reality, impartial with respect to the phenomena of past, present, and future of the cosmos, without variance, ultimately free, entering into the supreme treasury of all truths, correctly remembering all facets of truth without confusion, abiding unperturbed in the fields of all Buddhas in the 10 directions. Attaining unbroken knowledge, they know all things ultimately, without exception, putting an end to contamination. Their minds are liberated, and their intellects are liberated. Abiding in ultimate reality, their perceptivity is unimpeded, and their minds are always correctly stabilized. In a single thought they comprehend the things of past, present, and future, as well as the mental activities of all sentient beings, without any hindrance. This is the 8th mighty quality of Buddhas. All Buddhas have the same one reality body, a body of infinite range, a body of boundless qualities, a body with no limit in the world, a body undefiled by the realms of desire, form, or formlessness, a body manifested at will, an impartial, pure body that is neither real nor unreal, an indestructible body with no coming or going, no compounding, a body of the inherent essence of phenomena, of one form which is formless, an omnipresent body without position or location, a body of boundless forms produced by free psychic transformations, a body of all kinds of manifestations entering universally into everything, a body of skillful employment of subtle truth, a body of a treasury of knowledge illumining everywhere, a body showing the equality of phenomena, a body pervading the cosmos, a body of eternal purity without movement or discrimination, neither existent nor non-existent, a body manifest in accord with the various interests and understandings of all beings capable of being edified, which is not an expedient, yet not inexpedient, neither perishes nor does not perish, a body born of the treasury of all virtues, a body of true thusness, containing all the teachings of the Buddhas, a body free from obstruction, its fundamental nature absolutely still, a body in which all qualities of non-obstruction are developed, a body omnipresent in all realms of pure principle, a body omnipresent in all worlds in multiple forms, a body of universal comprehension, free from clinging to objects, free from regression, forever liberated, imbued with omniscience. This is the 9th mighty quality of Buddhas. All Buddhas equally understand all the teachings of Buddhas and equally cultivate all the practices of enlightening beings. Whether undertakings or knowledge, they are purely impartial, like the great ocean, all reaching fulfillment. Their power of action is supreme, and they never shrink back. Abiding in the measureless realms of the various concentrations, they show all paths, encourage good, and warn against evil. Their power of knowledge is foremost. They expound the truth without fear, and are able to answer any question well. Their knowledge, wisdom, and teaching are equally pure. Their physical, verbal, and mental actions are all unalloyed. They abide in the abode of Buddhahood, the family of Buddhas, doing Buddha work by means of enlightened knowledge and wisdom. Abiding in omniscience, they explain innumerable things as having no basis and no boundaries. Their psychic powers and knowledge are inconceivable, incomprehensible to any worldlings. Their knowledge profoundly penetrating, they see all things. The subtle, far-reaching, measureless, boundless gates of truth of past, present, and future, they thoroughly comprehend. In all worlds, they are able to awaken understanding by means of transmundane knowledge. In all worlds, they perform untold Buddha works of all kinds, attain unregressing knowledge, and enter the ranks of the Buddhas. Though they have already realized untold truths that are beyond verbal expression, yet they can explain all verbal expressions. By means of universally good knowledge, they accumulate good qualities. Achieving instantaneous, subtle knowledge, they comprehend all things and give out teachings to beings in accord with whatever courses of action are appropriate for them as individuals. All things, all worlds, all sentient beings, all times in the cosmos, the range of these phenomena unlimited, they are able to know and see by means of unobstructed knowledge. All Buddhas appear in the world in the time of a single thought, according to the possibilities for enlightening, abide in a pure land, attain true awakening, manifest spiritual powers, and open up and enlighten the mind, intellect, and consciousness of all sentient beings of past, present, and future, according to appropriate timing. Sentient beings are boundless, worlds are boundless, realms of natural law are boundless, past, present, and future are boundless, and the supremacy of the Buddhas is also boundless. They appear in the midst of them all, attain true awareness, and skillfully enlighten them by means of Buddha knowledge, never ceasing. All Buddhas manifest the most wondrous incarnation by means of spiritual power, abide in boundlessness, with great compassion and skill in means, their minds without obstruction, at all times explaining the wondrous teaching for the benefit of all living beings. This is the 10th mighty quality of Buddhas. These mighty qualities of all Buddhas are infinite, boundless, inconceivable, incomprehensible to any sentient beings or followers of individual liberation in any time, unless spiritually empowered by Buddha. All Buddhas have 10 definite principles. What are they? All Buddhas definitely come down from the heaven of happiness to be born on earth. All Buddhas definitely appear to be born, spending 10 lunar months in the womb. All Buddhas definitely tire of social convention and gladly seek to leave the world. All Buddhas definitely sit at the foot of the tree of enlightenment, achieve true awakening, and realize all elements of enlightenment. All Buddhas definitely realize all truths instantly and manifest spiritual power in all worlds. All Buddhas definitely can teach in accord with the time. All Buddhas definitely can teach people at the appropriate times in accordance with the bases of goodness they have developed and give them directions for enlightenment. All Buddhas definitely can do Buddha work in accord with the time. All Buddhas definitely predict the enlightenment of all fully developed enlightening beings. All Buddhas definitely can answer all sentient beings' questions in a single instant. All Buddhas have 10 kinds of speed. What are they? Any who see any Buddha are speedily able to avoid bad dispositions. Any who see any Buddha are speedily able to fulfill superior virtues. Any who see any Buddha are speedily able to develop extensive bases of goodness. Any who see any Buddha speedily attain rebirth in an immaculate heaven. Any who see any Buddha can speedily get rid of all doubts and confusion. Any who have already aroused the aspiration for enlightenment who see any Buddha can soon develop immense resolve, never to turn back, and can be able to teach people according to their needs. If they have not yet aroused the aspiration for enlightenment, they will quickly be able to arouse the determination for unexcelled, complete, perfect enlightenment. Any who see any Buddha before having entered the absolute state will speedily enter the absolute state. Any who see any Buddha will speedily be able to purify all roots of goodness, mundane and supramundane. Any who see any Buddha will speedily manage to destroy all obstruction. Any who see any Buddha will speedily be able to acquire fearless intellectual powers. All Buddhas have 10 kinds of pure things that should always be remembered. What are they? All Buddhas' past events should be always remembered by enlightening beings. All Buddhas' pure superior actions should always be remembered by enlightening beings. All Buddhas' fulfillment of the ways of transcendence should be always remembered by enlightening beings. All Buddhas' accomplishment of great undertakings should always be remembered by enlightening beings. All Buddhas' accumulation of virtues should always be remembered by enlightening beings. All Buddhas' embodiment of spiritual practice should always be remembered by enlightening beings. All Buddhas' actualization of true enlightenment should always be remembered by enlightening beings. The infinity of all Buddhas' physical forms should always be remembered by enlightening beings. The infinity of all Buddhas' spiritual powers should always be remembered by enlightening beings. All Buddhas' 10 powers and confidences should always be remembered by enlightening beings. All Buddhas have 10 stations of omniscience. What are they? All Buddhas instantly know the minds and mental patterns of all sentient beings of past, present, and future. All Buddhas instantly know the acts and the resulting consequences of those acts amassed by all sentient beings in past, present, and future. All Buddhas instantly know the deeds of all sentient beings and teach and civilize them by means of correct diagnosis, prescription, and occult influence. All Buddhas instantly know the mental characteristics of all sentient beings in the cosmos, manifest the emergence of Buddha in all places, and take those beings into their care by expedient means. All Buddhas instantly manifest expositions of teaching according to the mental inclinations, desires, and understandings of all sentient beings in the cosmos, causing them to become civilized. All Buddhas instantly know the inclinations of the minds of all sentient beings in the cosmos and manifest spiritual powers for them. All Buddhas instantly manifest appearance in all places, according to all the sentient beings who may be taught, and explain to them that the embodiment of Buddha is not graspable. All Buddhas instantly reach all places in the cosmos, all sentient beings, and their particular paths. All Buddhas instantly go in response to any beings who think of them, wherever they may be. All Buddhas instantly know the understandings and desires of all sentient beings, and manifest immeasurable physical forms for their benefit. All Buddhas have 10 kinds of immeasurable, inconceivable Buddha concentrations. What are they? All Buddhas, while always in correct concentration, instantly reach all places to expound the sublime teaching for sentient beings everywhere. All Buddhas, while always in correct concentration, instantly reach all places to teach all sentient beings ultimate selflessness. All Buddhas, while always in correct concentration, instantly enter the past, present, and future in all places. All Buddhas, while always in correct concentration, instantly enter the immense Buddha lands in the 10 directions, pervading all places. All Buddhas, while always in correct concentration, instantly manifest innumerable various Buddha bodies in all places. All Buddhas, while always in correct concentration, instantly in all places manifest body, speech, and mind in accord with the various understandings of sentient beings. All Buddhas, while always in correct concentration, instantly in all places explain the ultimate reality of all things, beyond desire. All Buddhas, while always in correct concentration, instantly in all places expound the inherent nature of interdependent origination of everything. All Buddhas, while always in correct concentration, instantly in all places manifest immeasurable worldly and transcendental great adornments, causing sentient beings always to get to see Buddha. All Buddhas, while always in correct concentration, instantly in all places enable sentient beings to master all enlightened teachings, attain infinite liberation, and ultimately reach unsurpassed transcendence. Buddhas have 10 kinds of unimpeded liberation. What are they? All Buddhas can cause the emergence in the world of untold Buddhas in a single atom. All Buddhas can cause untold Buddhas actively teaching to appear in a single atom. All Buddhas can cause untold sentient beings being taught and guided to appear in a single atom. All Buddhas can cause untold Buddha lands to appear in a single atom. All Buddhas can cause untold enlightening beings receiving predictions of Buddhahood to appear in a single atom. All Buddhas can cause all Buddhas of past, future, and present to appear in a single atom. All Buddhas can cause all past, present, and future miracles to appear in a single atom. All Buddhas can cause all sentient beings of past, present, and future to appear in a single atom. All Buddhas can cause all past, present, and future Buddha works to appear in a single atom.